Here at Sienci, we have a pretty big workshop for all of our CNCs and our accessories, but we know that not everybody has access to such a big space.
Look at all this space under here. Especially in a small shop, there's a lot of space not being utilized under this machine. We're gonna do something about it. We're gonna make the ultimate AltMill. It's gonna have everything you need to create a project from start to finish, all within the footprint of the machine. Let's do it.
You might be asking yourselves, how am I going to make this the ultimate AltMill? Let me tell you. 1, I am going to maximize the space underneath the machine for now and for future. I have a few things that I would like to do, but they're not going to happen in this project, but I am thinking about them right now. Number 2, I want the space under the machine to be easily accessible, and I'm going to do that by adding some big drawers and a slide for some plywood at the bottom. And in those drawers, some of them, I'm going to add some bit organization and other CNC related custom inserts. And by having extra drawers at the bottom, it's going to allow me to free up space that is already at a premium in the other parts of my shop, which I'm sure you can all relate to. I might have some tricks up my sleeve. I think you guys are going to love them. Let's get ultimate. Whoa. Here we are in my shop. I've had my AltMill for a handful of months now, and I'm starting to understand the flow of how my shop works with it in here, but I also am now really starting to understand how much space is under there and how underutilized it actually is. This project is all about quality of life, so by adding drawers and tip outs and just some other fun things to my AltMill, it is going to make my quality of life within my shop way more enjoyable. One of the biggest things I am looking forward to with this project is being able to clean up other areas of my shop that have, I'll be honest, gotten a little messy, a little sloppy. Those drawers, the organization, it's going to make life a lot easier to find things where they're supposed to be instead of just stacked up on a shelf or, buried in a drawer. Those quality of life things are not going to come without their challenges though, and here is what I think is going to be the biggest challenge I'm going to face with this project. I see 2 big challenges. Number 1 is it's a retrofit. I'm going to have to add drawers to an area that there wasn't drawers meant to be necessarily. Challenge number 2 is what I retrofit. The whole hope is that you guys will like it enough that you're going to go and then retrofit your machine. So what I do has to be repeatable. That could be a very interesting thing, but I've got some experience with tutorials, so I'm gonna do my best. Those are the 2 challenges I see coming up for this one. One thing that's going to be really helpful for me with this project is that we have the 3D model available for download. You guys can do it. I'm going to do it too. It's going to really aid with the design process. It's going to help me figure everything out before I ever lift a single tool in my shop. It's time to go. This is one of the tweaks that I'm going to make that's going to make quality of life way nicer. This sheet of wood is wide enough to come out here, but now what? The only way to move that is to slide the whole machine out and pull it out. I'm not doing that no more. That's what the sled's going to be for. The sled will pull out, it'll be on wheels, la-di-da, drop my materials, back underneath, Bob's your uncle. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Just a couple of screws in. Let's see if we can move the beastly box now in. Right? I don't know, man. Like a glove. Added a little 2x4 across the back, and these couple of little flappy guys is what I've got them called. That are going to make up, once the box gets put back in, this is going to make up the bottom of the shelf for the tip out, and that's about it. Freaking me out. Plywood's all cut out for the drawers. Random pieces everywhere. Tape marking what they are so I know which pieces go together. We're going to put the drawers together, throw some slides on them, drop them in there, make sure everything fits nice. Obviously, I'm assembling some drawers now that I've got everything cut out, and I'm gonna be flat honest. This is not how I would typically do drawers. I say typically like I build drawers all the time, but I don't. However, if I was going to build drawers and I had a little bit more time, I would not have gone with the basic setup that I'm going for. So my question to you is, when you build your Alt-imate AltMill and you add your drawers to it, what kind of drawers are you gonna do? Are you gonna do some sort of half lap? Are you gonna do dovetail? What are you gonna do to make your drawers as ultimate as your AltMill? Let me know. There we go. I'm tired. I am a little sweaty. However, it is time for the inaugural top drawer test fit. It's gonna go really well and I'm gonna be happy, or we're done filming for today. Let's see. This is a big drawer too. Whose idea was it to make these drawers so big? Something's not cooperating. Oh, everything's cooperating. Look at that. I'm quite pleased with myself. Just adding some screws. I'm inside the inner workings of the AltMill, but we got to make sure that this cabinet doesn't go sliding around with all, all the drawers in it, so we're going to add some screws to it. Quick tip on how to install your drawer slides to your box. Once you've determined your heights for everything, again, I used the 3D model, that was super helpful for me. Grab your measurement and you're just going to cut a jig to the height that you need. In this case, 11 inches. Slide it under here, put your slide on top, put some screws in, repeat for the other side. Boom, you've got your first one in. Pay attention for this one, work top to bottom. Some people like to cut their jigs down. If you're doing multiple jigs of the same setup, I wouldn't, I'd make separate ones. I've got scraps laying around, but here we go. We'll show you in action how I did it. This one is 6 inches, oh sorry, 6.5 inches. Make sure I have this going in the right direction, right? And then we're just going to line this up with the end of my box, drop a couple screws. Ta-da! All right, we've got most of the parts stained up. There's all the shelving pieces. There's the fronts that we're gonna carve next time we're getting together. There's a couple more fronts hanging out here. We got stuff everywhere. And there's a couple more, that's the G control screen right there. We're gonna turn that into, and there's a couple more shelving pieces. So that's all for today. Get back at it soon. Finish this beast off and make the ultimate AltMill. All right, I'd like to say that I was ready to hit start button, go, and do the side panel, the graphics that are going on there. However, first easy issue that popped up was I had the panel in the wrong orientation, so I had it going wide, not long. So I needed to rotate my graphics. That's not a big deal. And then I realized this panel is actually 53 inches long, and I don't have 53 inches of cutting area, so I'm going to have to do the profile that cuts this whole shape out. I'm going to have to do a tile on, which I'm going to go over here. I'm going to program that while the vectors or the graphics are being cut out, and then, you know, we'll just do a little quick tile and we'll be ready to go. We are going to do this first profile. Then we got to slide it down by 46 inches to finish it off, because I forgot that we don't have enough space to do 53 inches worth of carving. Go time?
Go time.
I don't know. How's it look from your angle? I think that's pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased. Now we go to the drawers, right? Time to do some drawers. Here's where things get a little scottable, I guess. But it's not a scottable. I planned this. Really long story short, I wanted a 16th inch gap in between my drawers once they're installed. For the rest of the world, I assume you're not going to be that picky, so I actually used a 16th inch downcut to carve these lines. The issue with this is they don't go all the way through the material because the flutes aren't long enough. So I'm going to have to now go in with my track saw to cut these lines all the way through. It's an extra step. I probably should have just used an 1/8 inch bit, cut all the way through, and not had to deal with this, but I really have it stuck in my head that I want that gap to be as small as possible, partially because I want the artwork to stay as, you know, cohesive as possible, and the bigger the gap, the less cohesive. But I mean, we're literally talking a 1/16 of an inch. So for the rest of the world, I'd recommend using an 1/8 inch bit. Cut all the way through. Don't do what I'm doing, but, you know, do as I say, not as I do. This is my first time doing drawers like this. There's going to be some trial and error. There's going to be, you know, some adjustment, but that's half the fun of doing this stuff. So tinker until you're happy. That's my advice. hope I did it right. And I made this exactly that was so done. Like, so done. This contraption here is my solution to the shelf that was under my AltMill. Long story short, to slide 4-foot long material into there, I found to be unenjoyable. So instead of having to slide it in under the machine, I'm going to use this sled here that rolls out, drop my material on, slide it back. Should save my back a little wear and tear. I am toying with putting some guides on the legs of the machine to help guide this thing in place. And in case you're wondering, these little blocks are because I made a boo-boo when I ordered my wheels, and they can rotate. And that doesn't actually help me. So I just grabbed some scrap, put a little slot on them, gonna put it in there, and once they're screwed in, it should keep those locked in place. This is the plywood sled. It's gonna work for my space. It might not work for yours, but if it does, let me know how you feel about it and if it works. And if it doesn't, then come up with another solution. See my fancy spacers? I got 2 of them. All right, the moment of truth. I'm pretty thrilled about my little clamp rack wall thingy, whatever you want to call it, that's going on the side of my machine. And another reason I'm excited is because that is the last cut that I have to make with my CNC. Now I have to move on to operation rewiring. Alrighty, after a whole bunch of hard work, some fiddling around, the Alt-imate AltMill is complete. I am thrilled about how much space it has cleared up in my shop. I want to show you all the fun things that I've done. Let's go. Starting at the front of the machine, we've got 3 fairly nice sized drawers, custom artwork all over it. I'm thrilled about that. It represents a little bit about who I am and my interests and my hobbies. Inside these drawers, I'm gonna have my CNC related items, bits, tools, clamps, all that fun stuff. Second drawer down is it's got those hand tools that I would find handy for most projects that I'm doing CNC related. Bottom drawer has, I'm thrilled about this, my vortex fits in there. There's a little notch cut out in that bottom drawer so I can slide the vortex in there and hide it when I'm not using it. And then over here, I've got I'm calling it the sanding station. So all my sandpaper, a couple different types of sanders. Far side over here, tip out door, has all of the products that I'm gonna use for finishing my product. So I've got my glues, my spray adhesives, I think I've got some spray paint in there, epoxies, pigments, all of that kind of stuff fits in there really nicely, easily accessible. The door tips out, it's got a chain to hold it in place. The magnets do a pretty good job of keeping that door in place. Moving to the other side of the machine, we have the clamp rack storage and wire management side of things. Way down here, we have what I'm calling the 4x4 sled. That was Daniel's idea. He's one of our engineers. You've seen him in other videos, you know who he is. I didn't like the idea of a shelf underneath my machine because it was a height restriction, and quite honestly, I found it difficult to get 4x4 material underneath the machine. By having that sled pull out, you can pull it out by 4 or 5 feet, place your material on top much more easily, and then slide it back in. The last couple things to wrap up the tour, we've got the G control panel here. I know people have been asking for it for a while. We've got files for it, super handy to have. Bit storage, random pieces storage, call-its, whatever you want to throw on there. And I've also added, you know, some lights underneath the gantry. A lot of people have been asking for that one. Super simple, plug and play. Couple changes in Gsender's settings and you have yourself some fancy lights to show your work and to show when the machine's moving around. So that's my Alt-imate AltMill. I think it's fantastic. I'm thrilled with not only how it looks, but how it functions. I'm excited. It's going to change my workflow. I'm gonna have everything that I need to do most of the CNC projects that I do right here within this 4x4 space. You don't have to have a massive shop to have everything you need, and you still get a great big machine. Now for the part of the project where I tell you guys a couple of the things that I learned while building this that I think you can improve upon. Number one, if you are going to do any sort of graphics or customizing on these, and any of the parts that are gonna get some wear and tear, I would heavily recommend using clear coat before you put it all together. We are on a bit of a time budget for this one, so I just installed everything to keep things moving. When you go to build yours, it's gonna get dings and dents. That I kind of accepted, but the clear coat will help keep everything nice as long as it can. Point number two, I like how it worked out in the end, but I was planning on using my boat anchors as drawer pulls, but I didn't plan the artwork around it. So if you're gonna do some more artwork, think about if you're gonna put handles on or not. This seems common sense, but as a guy who almost never builds drawers, I didn't think about it. Lucky for me, I've got these spring-loaded ones. I was able to work around it. It worked out in the end, but plan your artwork and your function together. And last but not least, the bits that we used on this project. 1/4 inch down cut, 30, 60, 90 degree V-bits, 1/8 inch down cut, 1/16 inch down cut. That's everything. You can find them on our store. There's 2 reasons why I chose the down cut bits and the methods that I used. One, I wanted the smallest gap in between my drawers and the artwork to look seamless together, so I had to use a smaller bit. I think I mentioned earlier in the video that if you're not that worried about it and you don't care about the artwork, or you're not doing artwork at all, you can use bigger bits. The only potential asterisk on that is I have maximized these sheets of plywood to the limit. So we're gonna give you the cut list and some diagrams to show you how I cut them all up. There may just not be enough room to play to use bigger bits. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a comment down below about what you thought about this project. When you bring your Alt-imate AltMill to life, make sure you hashtag us in the socials. We would love to see what you've done with the design. I'm gonna get back to work enjoying this machine as the centerpiece of my shop with all the functionality and space that it's given me. This is gonna be fantastic. I'll see you around the CNC.